The Red Raiders look to keep their chances of finishing in the top 4 of the Big 12 regular season standings alive with the win in Stillwater against the Oklahoma State Cowboys. In today's video, we'll preview the matchup, give you the latest Warren Washington injury update, discuss the odds and prediction, and why this game is so pivotal for the Red Raiders if they want to finish in the top 4 and secure a double bye in Kansas City. Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's RC Maxfield here for the Back to 12 podcast, and it's March, which means the madness is just right around the corner. If you want to represent your Texas Tech Red Raiders at the highest level possible, you need to go get your new favorite Texas Tech shirt over at homefieldapparel.com. And the best part about it, you can save 15% if you use the code Back to 12. Listen, I have 3 shirts from Home Field Apparel. They're my absolute favorite Texas Tech shirts, and I promise they will be your favorite Texas Tech shirts as well. So head on over to Home Field Apparel. Check out their vintage Texas Tech lineup and save 15% on your entire purchase when you use the code Back to 12. All right, let's get into this. I want to hear from you guys. Your score prediction for Texas Tech at Oklahoma State. Red Raiders got back on track in their last game of the season in terms of, well, the game that they last played out in Morgantown with an 81-70 victory over the Mountaineers. Now, Oklahoma State near the bottom of the Big 12 standings, but as we will talk about here in just a little bit, Texas Tech has not had a great recent memory up at Gallagher-Iba. Maybe that'll change under Grant McCaslin, but I want to hear from you guys. Let me know your score prediction down on the pinned comment below for Texas Tech at Oklahoma State. All right, let's set the scene. I just mentioned it. Gallagher-Iba Arena. That will be the facility that the Red Raiders will face off against the Cowboys. And tip-off is scheduled for 7 p.m. Central Time. You can watch this game on ESPN+. Now, as for the history between these two teams, Oklahoma State actually owns the all-time series 40-24. The Red Raiders have won just one of their last 5 matchups in Stillwater. Now, the average margin of victory in those last 4 matchups that Texas Tech has played in Stillwater is 3 points, with a couple of them actually going to overtime. Now, when you look at everything for Texas Tech in this one, obviously these two programs are on different trajectories right now. Boykin struggling there in Stillwater, but as we know right now, and really just this whole season, if you just watch Big 12 basketball at all, it's difficult as hell to win on the road, regardless of if that team is at the top of the standings like Houston or the bottom of the standings like West Virginia. It's just hard to win on the road in the Big 12, and this matchup will be no different for the Red Raiders. Now, if you want to stay in the know on Texas Tech men's basketball all year long, there's 3 simple steps to do so. Like the video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell to stay in the know on all things Texas Tech men's basketball throughout March and the offseason. We'll keep you covered here with the portal as well, as that will be a huge part of the Red Raiders moving forward. And if you just want to join the largest group of Texas Tech fans here on YouTube, just do those 3 simple things. Like the video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell. All right. Why is this game so important for Texas Tech? You'll see it at the bottom of your screen there. The double bye is still in play. The top 4 seeds in the regular season standings in the Big 12 receive a double bye, which means they are automatically pushed through to the quarterfinals, which would be huge, okay, for Texas Tech. You look at the Red Raiders' schedule moving forward, and each game in the Big 12 is just that much more of importance with only 2 remaining. The Red Raiders play at Oklahoma State. Obviously, we're previewing that one, and then senior night versus Baylor on Saturday. Now, Kansas and BYU are the other 2 teams tied with Texas Tech currently for that 4th spot. As it stands right now, the Red Raiders hold that tiebreaker. That's why we're bringing their schedules in because, well, each team plays a top 15 team on their schedule. Texas Tech obviously facing off against Baylor. Kansas plays their Sunshine State rivals in the Kansas State Wildcats, and then they play at Houston, arguably the toughest place to play in America. Then BYU faces off against number 8 at the moment, Iowa State, and then they play Oklahoma State. So each team kind of gets a close to a bottom feeder on their schedule and then a top 15 opponent, okay? The Red Raiders, as I mentioned, do hold the tiebreaker as it currently stands right now. And obviously, I want to point this out there because I know somebody in the comments will say it. Each game matters, RC, not just these 2. Yeah, I get that. I really do. I really do. Obviously, winning matters, and it's a priority. But this is huge for Texas Tech in the sense of if they can secure that double bye, they won't have to play until the quarterfinals, which allows them to rest up maybe get Warren Washington back, because I do not think he's going to play against Oklahoma State, and I'd be pretty surprised if he played against Baylor. I think they're going to rest and know that they're in the tournament and try and get him to as close to 100% as possible for meaningful games in terms of postseason aspirations, right? But another reason it would be so critical for Texas Tech to get a top 4 seed in Kansas City is the simple fact of the tournament only helps you. Okay, so you're going to have a much better chance if you are the 4 seed to have another quad 1 opportunity. And if you do that, that will just help your seeding in March Madness moving forward, whether that's, moving from the 7 to the 6 line, 6 to 5, whatever it is, it doesn't really matter. It just gives you a better opportunity to win. And that's why starting out and winning at Oklahoma State is so pivotal for the Red Raiders to get that 10th Big 12 victory, but also really keep themselves in the running when it comes down to getting that top 4 seed in Kansas City. All right, the must-watch matchup in this one for me is pace and space for Texas Tech against the Cowboys defense. Oklahoma State allows the second most points per game on average in the Big 12, just under 72 points per game. Texas Tech scored 90 on them last time. If you may remember, it was the second game of Big 12 play for the Red Raiders. I don't expect that at Gallagher-Iba for the Red Raiders, but I do think that you saw what the Red Raiders can do against a team similar to Oklahoma State in West Virginia in terms of when they went to their small ball lineup, they were really, really efficient, were the Red Raiders, and I expect to see some of that against Mike Boynton's team out there in Stillwater for the Red Raiders as well. Now, as for the odds and prediction in this one, according to Bart Torvark, you may know him as T-Rank, Texas Tech is favored by just 1.5 points at Oklahoma State. According to his metrics, the Red Raiders have a 56% chance to win this game. You're about to see my score prediction at the bottom of the screen. I've got the Red Raiders winning this one 78-72, and the main reason being is this. I think Texas Tech got out of their shooting drought. The psychological aspect of sports I don't think is talked about enough, specifically from a shooter's perspective. Shooters shoot, man. And you can get frustrated in terms of those low percentages and the streaks that they go on. But once they see a couple go in, their whole mindset changes. And then you'll see a couple more go in. And then a couple more go in. Prime example, Chance McMillan. I think Texas Tech is really going to push the envelope against Oklahoma State, get out in transition, and create as much space in the half court as possible. And I'll tell you this right now, Kerwin Walton's not going to play as bad as he did against West Virginia. No way he goes 1 for 4 from 3 again. I think Chance McMillan got back on track against West Virginia. I think Papa Isaacs, in some respects, got back on track against West Virginia. And I expect Washington to be out for this game, which means more small ball for the Red Raiders, which means more open looks potentially for Darion Williams, who's shooting north of 50% from corner threes. And then obviously Kerwin Walton is shooting at a high level as well, one of the best shooters in the country. That's why I think Texas Tech wins this game. If they make 9+ threes, it might be a blowout for Texas Tech. But as we all know, it is difficult to win on the road in the Big 12. I think that this score really ends up being Texas Tech late in terms of the free throw game. I think this game is close, but the Red Raiders do pull it off in the very end up there in Stillwater. But I want to hear from you guys before we head out of here. Leave me your score prediction down on the pinned comment below for, well, I guess the prequel to the season finale, at least regular season finale for the Red Raiders this season in year number 1 of Grant McCasland, where he's yet again won 20 games in his first year as a head coach at a D1 program. But I want to hear from you guys before we head out of here. Leave me your score prediction on the pinned comment down below. And while you're at it, you might as well do the 3 simple things to stay in the know on all things Texas Tech men's basketball all year long. It's really simple. 3 steps. Like the video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell to stay in the know on all things Texas Tech men's basketball all year long on the most subscribed to Texas Tech YouTube channel. Of course, I'm talking about the Back to 12 podcast channel.